What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JP, and today I got the Redmi Note 9S. For those of you that are unaware, the Redmi Note 9S is the global version of the Redmi Note 9 Pro. Not the Redmi Note 9 Pro Max or the Plus. I can't remember if the top tier one is the can't remember if it's the Note 9 Pro Max, like an iPhone, or a Note 9 Pro Plus. But nonetheless, the Plus or the Max, whichever one it is, just pretty much has a slightly better camera system. Other than that, the Note 9 Pro is the same. Internally, of course, the top tier one's also going to have more RAM, obviously, as well. That kind of a lot of these phones that kind of goes without saying. But the Redmi Note 9S is the global Redmi Note 9 Pro. I don't know if they're going to have a global version of the top tier one with the better camera. But nonetheless, it's for the price, it's a pretty good phone. This comes at a cheaper price than what the Redmi Note 8 Pro came out for around July or August of last year, if I'm not mistaken. I do have a video of that phone. Performance it's not necessarily an upgrade. This does have the Snapdragon 720G, which is a gaming centric processor, and it's gaming centric for budget conscious people as well. It definitely gets the job done there. It actually performs a little less than the MediaTek Helio G90T that the Redmi Note 8 Pro had last year. But a lot of people wanted to see a Snapdragon variant of the Note 8 Pro. There was even rumors going around that there was, in fact, going to be a Snapdragon 730 version of the Note 8 Pro that y'all may or may not remember. It was in the rumor mill. It never came true. But nonetheless, the MediaTek powered the Helio G90T I was very impressed with. But it was true what a lot of people said, that it had overheating issues, despite supposedly having a liquid cooled chambers and stuff like that Redmi actually discussed when launching the phone. I don't really know how effective or how well it worked. I do know that other phones with the Helio G90T, like the Realme 6 that just came out a month or two ago, doesn't have those overheating issues. But you're also talking about a phone that came out, like a half a year later. So I would think that those issues would be worked out. But nonetheless, if you have the Redmi Note 8 Pro, I wouldn't necessarily do the upgrade this phone does have a little bit more going for it. It does have a more modern design, has a punch hole instead of the teardrop. It is a larger screen. It's a 6.7 inch. Or, I'm sorry, 6.67 inch. But I always round it up, 6.7 as far as I'm concerned. It is full HD LCD, just like the Note 8 Pro was last year. Much better camera system. Let's see, trying to think here. I turned around here. Very nice phone. This is the Interstellar Gray. Those aren't scratches, those are just fingerprints there. It is definitely a fingerprint magnet, but the color is beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful color here. Beautiful phone. Very nice, honestly. They've done a fantastic job. Battery life on this phone is amazing. Has an IR blaster, side-mounted fingerprint sensor. Works really well. Volume rocker, speaker, USB Type-C. Does have your headphone jack there. Your SIM tray. Sorry for that focusing issue there. And it's trying to get this focusing to, there you go. Sorry about that, y'all. But yeah, I mean it's been great. I've had it now for about 2 weeks. Been playing with it here, and It does have Android 10. Obviously, the latest MIUI. This is the global version, so it does come with the Google Play services. No need to hack them in there. But your USB Type C, your fast charging brick, the included case. It's a tinted gel TPU case. I actually really like this. Actually, it has a little cover for the Type C for the charger port. I always kind of rip these off or cut them off. I hate those. Just a personal preference. But you got your SIM ejector tool. You got your little booklets in here. Nothing to really go over there. This is the 6 gig variant. Again, it is a Snapdragon 720G, the new one. It's actually newer than the 730G. And the benchmarks are actually, some benchmarks are showing the 720 to be a better processor than the 730. They're out there. Look them up. It's quite a few that actually show that. Because just because it's newer doesn't mean it's better. It was obviously made for phones with slightly lower price tags than what the 730 was made for. But, it's kind of the same thing with the differences between the Snapdragon 670 and the 675, if y'all remember correctly from last year. A lot of situations, the 670 was better than the 675 in certain benchmarks. But then again, the 675 was still the newer one, but it was made in a larger. It was made on an 11 nanometer versus the 10 that the 670 was. So, whereas the 720 and the 730 are both 7 nanometer nodes. So, that probably wasn't the best comparison. But nonetheless, this phone, it does perform really well. It does. I originally actually had the 4 gig, and it just didn't. It had a lot of stuttering issues. So I would definitely recommend the 6 gig, honestly. I would definitely recommend the 6. Or even the 8. But it's a great phone. The camera system. It is it's the 48. It's a 48 megapixel versus the 64 Sony that the Redmi Note 8 Pro got last year, but this isn't the 48 megapixel Sony or even the older Samsung from last year. This is the second generation Samsung 48 megapixel. So it actually is an all new camera system. It is a newer lens than the 64 megapixel that Sony has out now. Actually, correction, the 64 megapixel that the Redmi Note 8 Pro used last year was a Samsung one. But since then Sony's came out, and Sony's always ends up being better, just like was the case last year with the 48 megapixels early on. And this year, Samsung has released the second gen of the 48 megapixel, and that's what this uses, and it works really well actually. It takes pretty good shots, honestly, for what it is. I did do a quick overview yesterday for the new Moto G Stylus. Now, that I will say that's a better camera, but for the price, this is also cheaper with a slightly better processor. And this phone, I think I picked this up for, man, $230. Yeah, $230. You really can't beat that, honestly. Really can't beat that. It does have Face Unlock. The Face Unlock works really well as well. It's not the fastest fingerprint sensor on the side, but it does get the job done. Gaming has been fantastic on this phone. No overheating issues whatsoever. It's a great budget-conscious phone, honestly. It really is. It gets the job done. LTE works here in the U.S. On AT&T, I have not tested it for T-Mobile. Sometimes I have time to, and sometimes I don't. But this does work on LTE as far as AT&T goes. It does have Band 2 and Band 5. It may have Band 4 for T-Mobile. I have to kind of go back over everything. But yeah, this is the video again for the global Redmi Note 9 Pro, aka the Redmi Note 9S. And y'all be on the lookout for my next video. I'm working on it now. The if I stop stuttering here, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what's wrong with me. But I do have something very exciting coming up. Speaking about Redmi, it is another Redmi phone. The Redmi K30 Pro 5G. That's right, folks, the Pro. I got it. Just picked it up from FedEx. The real, what the OnePlus 8 Pro should have been, is in the house. So y'all be on the lookout. And I'll catch y'all in that video and the ones after that. Peace.